It's Lori, Late Night Lori from Lori's Little Bit of Craftin', coming to you. We're going to pretend on Thursday, April 16th at 11:59 p.m., give or take 11 minutes. I was live a couple of minutes ago, but I had no sound, so let's see if we have any sound yet. No sound. No sound. Oh, there we go. Phew. Oh, there we go. Phew. All right, let's try this again then. Hello, Rosa. Hello, Allie. And maybe Roz will come back. Roz was here just a minute or two ago. Let me get my stuff set up here. This is take 2 because I didn't have sound, so welcome back, Roz. This is take 2 because... All right, now we can get going. That was crazy, and all I didn't restart my phone. I just closed that video and opened it up again, and I don't know why YouTube is not being very kind to me lately, but welcome. So let me do my little spiel that I have to do because Stampin' Up! Kind of says I have to. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States. I'm coming to you from Wisconsin. I think I said all this, but I don't even remember now. So we're going to pretend it's Thursday, April 16th at 11:59 p.m. How is everybody today? Thanks for being patient with me. Let's see. Oh, has it been wonky for a lot of people? Well, that's good to know. Chantel, welcome back. So I was actually just a couple of minutes past midnight because I was prepping some paper. Who'da thunk it? And Chantel, see what I've got? I've got that Delicate Whispers. So let's go through some of my quickie announcements. Since I'm a demonstrator for Stampin' Up!, I have a website. If you want to see products, upcoming promotions, the new catalog when it releases on May 5th, if you want to shop with me, you can do all of that on my website, latenightlori.stampinup.net. And we have a new catalog coming out. So our annual catalog will be retiring. Our mini catalog will be retiring. Our 2024 to 2026 in colors, Petunia Pop, Summer Splash, Shy Shamrock, Peach Pie, and Pretty in Pink are all going to be retiring. So if you want anything from those colors, if they're still available, you need to get it now because once they're gone, they're not coming back. If you're not a demonstrator, if you do not have a demonstrator and you would like a catalog, if you're in the United States, let me know. I would be more than happy to help you with your crafting needs and be your demonstrator if you'd like. If you need a catalog, shoot me an email, lorimacari@gmail.com, and let me know you want a catalog. All right. And I can't show the inside yet. I can't show the inside per Stampin' Up! Rules until we go live. So, a couple of other things. Product of the month, this cool die, which we did a fun card with it the other day. Here it is. And I still haven't put together that second card. I kind of was casing this card, cutting out some of those elements, which was a little putsy, but I think the end result was pretty good. So if you're in the United States, you need to have a qualifying purchase of at least $75. Let me know if you don't know what a qualifying purchase is, but once you reach that threshold, your shopping cart page will show you that you can add this product for just $5. And that's a smoking hot deal. And look at the size of this die. It is like a full card front size piece. So this is a quarter sheet of cardstock. Now you might be able to tell where my little die got rippled here. It was a pretty significant bend. I had it crooked in my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, but I flattened it out by running it through it several times. It should be just fine. I can work with it. All right, and then Stampin' Up. This will be Friday the 17th is going to be the last day. Their Stampin' Up is giving you double rewards. So you do have to have a Stampin' Up account, and you do have to be opted in for rewards. If you're not opted in, they can't give you rewards. Something with financial rules and things. You have to say, yeah, give me rewards. It seems silly, but it is what it is. So minimum purchase is $20. That's a threshold that you need to start earning rewards. And you get 10% back. So right now you're going to get double that. All right. So that's a pretty cool thing. But I'm making it even more cool because I've had this Craft Math Strategy Stampiversary subtraction special going on. My Stampiversary was March 19th. I've got 9 years as a demonstrator. Seems kind of crazy to me, but time went fast. So my backwards math from March 19th for 9 years, if you purchase at least $28 from me, my store, which is latenightLori.stampinup.net, I will gift you $9 in Stampin' Rewards, basically. This special is only through April 19th, all right? So whatever you purchase less than $9, you'll get more Stampin' Rewards. But that's my special right now in honor of my 9 years. Since this goes until the 19th, those of you who have already placed orders, thank you so very much. And I will gift those Stampin' Rewards after the 19th. So all of the orders need to come in, and then like the 20th or soon thereafter, I'll distribute all of the Stampin' Rewards. And I'll send an email so that you know to watch for them. So kind of keep an eye on what your rewards are now or as of the 19th. And then you'll see when the rewards from me come in. And they're only good for 90 days. When we gift rewards, they're only good for 90 days. So don't let them get away from you, because I can't pull them back. Once you have them, they're yours. But if you don't spend them, that's your loss, and it's my loss too, because then I haven't been able to give them to anybody else or use them myself. So virtual album retreat. This is coming up. So today's the 17th. And this starts on the 29th, so 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 more days. We've got master classes. So this is going to be 3 days of crafting, intense crafting, all right? 10 two-page spreads. I've gotten my kit. I did a little showcase of everything, kind of like an unboxing. So everything that you need for this, except for like adhesives and blocks and inks and that sort of thing. But all of your paper supplies are going to be in the kit. And then you get your master classes for 7 to 8 hours a day for 3 days. Awesome, awesome stuff. And yes, it is expensive, but you get a lot for your money. All right. And then it's part of a private Facebook group. Last virtual retreat, Stampin' Up! Created private links and put it on YouTube as well. So you can watch the replay either on Facebook or on YouTube. Don't forget there's online exclusive products, but we're getting some new products come May as well. We have last chance products that there's a whole bunch on there, so make sure you're looking for that. If there's some things that you see on the last chance list and you think, oh, maybe I'll just wait, just know that when it comes off the last chance list, when they sell out, it's done. They won't get more, all right? And then we're in a new subscription month, so we're here for May. This paper pumpkin kit, I should have said we're in a new subscription month for paper pumpkin. It'll be 9 cards, 3 different designs with the envelopes and all kinds of things. And don't forget too, if you're a paper pumpkin subscriber, we've got these add-on dies that are really fun to enhance your projects, all right? And they're pretty timeless, so you can use them for other things. Allie, are you on every night? I know originally you were going to just do a few nights a week. So Chantel, that might be why you couldn't find her when you looked. And you should be able to find her just by doing Alley Cat's Crafts. That's how I found it originally when she told me what her page was. So you should be able to find it that way. So are you doing every day, Allie? Is that what I asked? Or just a few days a week? All right, so here's my schedule going on while we wait for Allie to give answers here. We are coming up, oh, we had so much fun today with this virtual album retreat. It's a private class that I've been doing for anybody who purchased the last virtual album retreat and could not attend live. We're meeting here in my studio, and you can use all of my things Tuesdays and Thursdays. Whoops, there goes my recycle bin. Tuesdays and Thursdays starting next week. Okay. So there you go, Chantel. She'll kind of have a schedule there. But we had a lot of fun with this today. So with this next virtual album retreat, again, if you're local to me and if you purchase the album retreat, you can do a watch party with me and we can craft or just watch here, and you can use my inks and all the things, in case there's some colors you don't have or something. All right. Monday, we've got my most, which is my Monday open studio time. So again, if you're local to me, bring what you're working on, what you're stuck with, paper pumpkin kits, something from the kids collection, something you want to work on. And if you don't have anything and you need something, I'm sure we could find something here for you to work on. All right. That's free. Just bring your stuff and we'll chat, we'll snack, and we'll have some beverages as well. Saturday, the 25th, I am doing a Cute as a Bug picnic basket and cards kit. So the details for the kit are, it's a $35 class. We'll make the basket. We'll do 4 cards. I know there's only 3 showing here, but we'll do 4 cards. So you'll get the basket. You'll get 4 cards. I'll have a PDF for the basket. I'm not sure if I'm going to get PDFs done for the cards, but they'll be easy enough to recreate when you've made them. But I'll have all the parts and pieces ready to go. And then I'll have that PDF with the instructions and the measurements and everything for that basket. And we'll have a lot of fun. So it's $35, or if you purchase the Sweet Bugs bundle, or, okay, I'm going to let you guys talk. I was thinking those comments might be for me. If you already have the Sweet Bugs bundle, you can purchase another bundle of equal or greater value through me at latenightLori.stampin'up.net. Let me know when you've made your purchase and that you want to do the class, so that I can get everything out to you if you're not local, all right? If you are local to me, let me know when you've made your purchase, or you can Venmo the money to me, which is at Lori-Macari. You should be able to Venmo me your payment if you're just doing the class without the purchase, all right? So, oh, and here's the cute little basket, all right? It's a picnic basket with the cards in. And the lid does come all the way off. So that'll be fun. It'll be fun. So let's get down to business, hey? So last night, my paper went all wonky, sorry. Last night, Chantel asked about the Delicate Whispers designer series paper. Yep, this is the Delicate Designs. This is some really pretty paper, and I did cut up a lot of mine. Chop it up, you'll be more likely to use it, okay? So here are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I cut this one up because I kind of like those plaids. And this is very similar to this one, just with the Mossy Meadow highlights. All right. The basket is adorable. All right. So these are the 6 designs here. And then the back sides, of course, we have more muted design. So this is like a linen sort of thing. This is almost like clouds, just some crumb cake foliage and some nice hydrangea hue stuff. So I'm not sure what we're going to end up with that, but Chantel, just so you know, I did 2 projects with this, I think March 22nd and March 23rd. So check for those videos, and you'll be able to see a thumbnail with this designer series paper on there. Go check those out. But tonight I thought we would make another mini album using this paper, just something different than the cards that we've already done. Okay. Oh, you did see those videos. Okay, good. So I thought we would do that. Now, there's also this coordinating paper here that's got the bronze and crumb cake. So this is a Delicate Design specialty designer paper. This is heavier. It's one-sided, and because it's foiled or metallic, that's why they can't process it with a design on both sides. So these are the 3 designs for that. We might use some or all of those. I don't know. We'll see where the spirit moves us. And this is the one we did last night, of course. If you want to see how that one came together, just go look at last night's video. Last night's video was really long. I don't normally go that long. But we were just, you know, chatting and crafting, and before we knew it, it had been 3 hours. I think that's my longest one ever. So it's nice when there's conversation, because that's what we're here for. We're here to share all of our ideas and things, right? Now I am seeing this little circle in here that was already die cut, so we might use that. We'll see. But I think our base tonight is going to be Secret Sea. That's one of the colors in the designer series paper. So for whatever reason, my pack did not have a label on it. Lucky me. But the colors in here are bronze, crumb cake, gray granite, hydrangea hue, mossy meadow, and Secret Sea. So that's why I'm using Secret Sea for our base. And I've got all of my other pieces cut down, except for these strips. I've got everything cut to 4x6, except for this one. I just left this. I had these at 6x6. So I figured I'm not going to cut them down and have 2-inch pieces left. Okay. So here's our template again. So if you didn't get it last night, hello, Yuda. You're still tired for only 3 hours of sleep. Well, I didn't get much more than you did. Because once I got done being online, then I stay and I clean up a little bit. And all right, so you're going to craft with us. Perfect. So get your 12x12 piece of cardstock. I'm using the 2-tone cardstock. So you can see the Secret Sea is a little hard to tell, but the darker color is intended to be the true color, and the lighter color is the tinted. Hey, Suzanne, welcome. All right, so just so you know, the darker one is your true color. So if we look here, those are pretty close, and you should be able to tell that this is lighter now than the true color. It might be hard to tell on the camera, but this one is actually a little lighter. You'll just have to trust me. All right, so take a screenshot of this if you need to. And I could try to zoom in a little bit, but I don't want to cut off anything. It's not quite in focus either. I don't know if that helped or not. You can kind of read it, but I'm going to back up just a little bit. Hopefully it'll go in focus. But if you didn't get the measurements last night, they're pretty basic. You'll be able to catch up tonight. So go ahead and get your trimmer. And you'll want the bar, the extension arm, extended. Now, if you're using two-tone cardstock, make sure, oh, Nicole, welcome. If you're using the two-tone cardstock, and really any paper, when you score deliberately, but be careful that you don't score too hard because you don't want to rip your paper, because that is a risk, okay? So we're going to score this at 4 inches. I would have used hydrangea hue because that's one of the main colors in here and I think it's gorgeous, but I don't have that in the 12 by 12 yet. That's a brand new color coming out. So we're going to go ahead and score at 4. And we're going to score at 8. Now, if you want to be brave and daring, before you move this, it's already at the 8. So we're looking at this score right here. If you want to go from the bottom, let me move this up a little bit. If you want to go from the bottom of your trimmer up to the 6-inch mark, we can cut this right now. Normally I would say you would go to a score line, but we don't have that score line done yet. All right, so if you're brave, go ahead and trim that right now. Everybody good? We're gonna turn this 90 degrees and I'm going clockwise. And I'm gonna put this arm back down because I wanna have this gutter, that 6-inch gutter. Let me move my ribbon out of the way. All right, Chantel, be brave. You can do it, all right? So now we're gonna go and put it at the 6-inch mark and we're gonna score. And then this piece should go right up to that score line, and mine does. Mine goes exactly there. So hopefully that's what you've got, all right? And since we have it in here, now this was how we started. We're gonna turn it like this, and now we're just gonna trim at that 6-inch score line, and we're gonna go down to 4 inches. So I'll take my cutting blade up to the top, and we're going to go to that score line there, which is at 4 inches, okay? Now, since we have it in this orientation, remember we need to take 3 inches off of this piece. So I'm going to go over here to 3 inches. I'm going to bring my cutting blade back down to the bottom. I'm going to make sure I'm at 3 inches down here. And then I am going to trim to that score line. And this is extra. Use it for something else, all right? So this is what our piece should look like. All right, so we've got this slit here, and part of it cut off. All right, now, I thought I kept my punch out. I did. So yesterday I used my 1 1/4 inch punch. Use whatever punch you have. We're gonna make sure that we cut these thumb holes here before we put it all together. I didn't do that yesterday and I had to kind of weasel my way into my pockets so that I could get those thumb holes in there. So I'm just going to go ahead and kind of line this up so it looks like it's equal distance from the sides. Use whatever size punch you have. And that looks pretty good. All right, and then we're going to do the same thing on this side. Remember, from our template, we're going to go on this side. And again, we're going to try to get it kind of centered. Now, I usually eyeball stuff So let's just see. Let's go this way because centimeters might work better. That's at about 4, and that's at about 5. So we'll go like so. 1.5. That's pretty close. Pretty close. Oops, I want it in just a little further. There we go. All right, so now I'm done with that punch. All right, so now let's go ahead and do our tear and tape. And we're gonna do tear and tape along this long side here. And I'm gonna go ahead and use my scissors rather than tearing it. Just so it's pretty straight. And then we just want to have it on the bottom. And then we're going to put it on these two sides, just like on this one. And you want to kind of make sure that you've got it as close to the edge where your little thumb hole is. Let's just go like this because that's a little crooked. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and get my bone folder, and we're going to start burnishing. So I like to burnish my tear and tape onto my paper. For one, it makes it easier for me to pull up that backing paper because the tape then is better adhered onto my cardstock. But this way I'm actually pushing it really hard onto the cardstock too. All right, so let's go ahead and burnish all of our folds. And just make sure your edges are pretty well straight. It'll look nicer if they're straight. And if you remember from last night, both of these get folded back. So I'm just going to fold them back and burnish them that way. Last night I did them to the front and to the back. I burnished them both ways so that they bent really easy. But tonight I just figure we'll bend them back because we know what's going to happen. And then this one is going to get, actually it'll get folded in this way. So let's go ahead. And if you burnish it the wrong way, don't worry about it. You can fix it after, okay? So there we go. So we're all burnished. All right, so let's go ahead and Chantel, you've got all your tear and tape on too? I feel like my camera's not in focus. Is that a little bit better? I kind of tapped on it. All right, so I am going to go like this. This is going to be our first fold. We're going to go up. So what I'm doing is, I showed this last night. I'm just going to flick off some of this tear and tape backing so it's hanging off the side so I can line it up. And then we'll kind of peel it off as we go. So we're just creating our first pocket. So I want to make sure that this is nice and straight to the top of our album. Okay. And then if you need to, go ahead and burnish again. But now I can go ahead and just peel this out and peel this one out, and everything is all nicely in place. Oh, is that what it's called? The bunny ear trick? I've seen a lot of people do it. And it does work quite nicely. All right. So that's number one. Number two is going to be, now we can fold this in. Okay. And then number three is we're going to go like this and fold this up and make the next pockets here. And I guess I can open that up right now. And now when you're using the two-tone cardstock, because it's a white core, if you want to touch up your edges, like let's say I wanted to get my, let me get my ink. Do I have Secret C out here already? I do. What you could do is color the edges if you want, if you're worried about it, so that you don't see that white core. And it'll give it a little bit more finished look, I guess. All right. So let's go ahead and pull these out. And that's stuck on there. And then we'll just finish off these last few white edges. All right. All right, so we folded up. We've got our first pocket. This is our cover now. This is going back this way, and this is going back this way. So we've got our cover, our first little pocket, our second pocket, and then our flip out. You only have regular card, so you don't have 12 by 12? Is that what you're telling me? All right, now I see from my little pocket here, there's a little edge hanging out. So I'm gonna go ahead and just trim that down because I don't like it poking out there, just so I don't see that harsh edge. And then I'm gonna end up using that ink again to just kind of colorize the edge so that I don't have to see the white. Oh, okay, so you don't have the two-tone, you've got regular cardstock. That's fine. I just used the two-tone because that's what I had in this color. All right, there we go. So now we can start putting some decorations on, right? I should have put a glue dot under my little mat here so that my grid paper doesn't keep moving. There. All right, so let's decide what we want to do for the front. And do we want to, like this one, I decided to change my mind, remember, because we started out with this one, but once everything else was there, I liked this better. All right, so we'll have to decide, what do we want for our cover? Do we want to go with the dark? Do we want to go with one of these copper ones? Show how to fold it again. All right, so this one's already glued together. So let's go back to this template. all right? The first step is we're gonna fold this up and glue it. And then this flap comes over and becomes your cover. So you can either do that second or third, it doesn't matter. This pocket comes up. So basically this comes up. Okay, so this goes over, this goes to the back, this goes to the back. So now when we open it, we've got a cover, we've got a pocket, we've got a pocket, we've got a flip out. And again, I'm not in focus. I don't know if it's maybe I'm moving my hands too fast. All right, did you catch it that time? So if you got a screenshot of this last night, it has 1, 2, 3, 4 gets folded back, 5 gets folded back. Okay, so if you took a screenshot, all of the little notes are on there. All right, so the other thing we could do is we could put covers in some of this copper-ish, the bronze, and what happened to like this. And we could do almost anything. In fact, I could get, so then I also have a bunch of these. I cut these out ahead of time. These are from the dies. Hopefully we'll have enough. And so since I did all of these in 4x6, we'll need to trim them down a little bit. But then we could do another sentiment. I kind of liked this one that says, "You make me smile." Now, if we did that on here, I could try to emboss it. You only had the first pack. All right, so you don't have this one. That's okay. You can use whatever you have. It doesn't have to look exactly like mine. Unless you're thinking you want me to just stick to all of this so that you can make yours look like mine. But these papers are really pretty too because they've got all the foiling in them. So you can see how brilliant that is, that metallic foiling. All right, so if we do this, we could go down. We could go down a little. I could probably like cut off a square of each of those. Because I want it to be centered. All right, and then we'll get another piece for the back. And if we don't like it, we can always change it. Now I don't have an embossing folder, so that's why I'm thinking using these pieces that look like they've got some texture to them. So we can put that there. Now we can always cut out the middle too, so that we're not wasting all of this paper. So I think let's just figure out, where'd my ruler go? We're gonna do three and a quarter by 5 1/4. 3 1/4 by 5 1/4. And hopefully I measured correctly so that we can get that kind of centered in here. Ooh, that looks nice. I like it. Oh, not that one. I need this one. Is anybody else making this as we go? All right, let me get my textured notes dies, because those are all rectangles, and we're going to go ahead and gut this out. I need to make sure that would be just like exactly. So I think I'm going to use a smaller one, just because I don't want to well, if you have questions as we go, just say so. All right, let's move these out of the way. I'm going to bring up Bossy Bessie. And we're going to gut out both of these. Now, I've mentioned it before, but when you have, oh, I need a cutting plate. When you have square or rectangle dies where you've got a defined corner, you want to make sure that you're putting it in at an angle so that you're leading with the corner, not the flat edge, because the flat edge will make it harder for you to get through all of the layers. Okay. That should be good. So sometimes, you know, you hear that really strong clunk, clunk, clunk when you're putting things through. It's if you're using a rectangular or a square, it's because you're putting that flat edge through, and it just has to work harder. That should be pretty good. And then make sure you offset your plates too. That helps too. So you can tell how easy that's going through there. So these pieces then we can save for something else. Oh, I'm glad the pace is good. It's fun to craft along at the same time, I think. All right, so we're going to go ahead and glue this piece on, and then we'll glue this one on over there. And I think that will make a very pretty cover. Now, before I glue everything down though, remember yesterday I forgot, and I was going to put ribbon on. Now this ribbon, while it goes with this paper, I don't necessarily like it here. Do you? Why is Bessie so bossy? Because she's so big and heavy. She's kind of like a bully. And then I have sweet little Betsy, our little one. And then we have this. This is the ribbon that actually goes with the suite of products. This is the gray granite. Or we can not put any specific color. I could find something else in my stash and color it Secret Sea, and that would work. I wonder if we could actually, let me get my alcohol blend for Secret Sea. And let's just see how it looks. So even if a ribbon is colored, you can still make it whatever color you want within reason. You know, if this ribbon was dark, obviously I couldn't turn it into a light color. But you can always take a ribbon and turn it into a darker color relatively easily. So I'm thinking that might make a really good ribbon to close up our album. Would you agree? I think that'll work. So let's just see how long we need it. And I usually, you know, gray granite is one of those colors that I don't use a whole lot. I have some silver metallic. Oh, that would be pretty. Because I think the shimmer, as long as it looks all right with that bronze, you'll have to decide for yourself if that works. So I'm going to go ahead and use a little bit of seal. And let's just center this up. So I need to go, and I'm using my grid line here. I don't usually worry too much about measurements, but I want it kind of close. I guess I should finish coloring this though, shouldn't I? That might be a good idea. Now when you use your alcohol blends to color your ribbon, just make sure you're using the side of that brush tip, not the tip, because you will break it. And since this ribbon is a little thicker, I'm actually adding ink to both sides. Sorry if my hands are in the way. I did my ribbon 16, 18, 20, 22. I did mine about 23 inches. I just kind of wrapped it around my album and figured how much I might need to make a bow. Thanks for hopping in here, Yuda. Sleep well. Now, I'm just wondering if I have... Oh, you know, I do have some Secret Sea. I do have Secret Sea. It's a little wider, but it would save me the time. I think we'll do the real Secret C. I don't mind coloring my ribbons, but it's taken longer than I have patience for right now. And this is a current in color, so it occurred to me that I probably have some seal or some ribbon. So let me do, since I told you about 23 inches, 16, 20, 23. Use up some of that other ribbon. I find that I don't use ribbon enough. So doing things like this, and how did I not, I cut that too short. How did I do that? Let's try this again. All right, 16, 23. Let me just wrap this around and see. Maybe I need it longer than 23 inches. That's about what I thought that other one was. $16. Yeah, it was 23. Why does this one seem so much shorter? Maybe because it's a little wider. So let's see. So this one I did about 27 inches. So you figure out what you want. Cover. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and make sure I've got this opening the correct way. Now I'm going to go ahead and get these layers on. Okay, and I'm going to use my Tombow. Hey, Juju, welcome. You just missed Yuda. She just left. Ellie! You thought I'd forget, huh? So, Juju, we're just doing another mini album using yesterday's design, but with the Delicate Whispers paper that Chantel had requested. And it's really turning out pretty. I think it's going a little faster tonight than last night just because I have pre-cut some of the panels down to size. Ellie! And where is my other frame? Here it is. Upside down, so I didn't recognize it. All right, so Chantel, you color away. Just make sure you're using an alcohol marker, because if you're using a regular water-based marker, it's not going to dry very nice for you, and the color will probably smudge quite a bit. Ellie! We'll see how long I do that, right? How was your day, Juju? You ready for Friday? Allie and I were both lamenting that we were very tired because neither one of us got much sleep. Because last night, this went on for over 3 hours, which I believe is a record for me. I don't think I've ever done 3 hours before. Ellie! All right, so how you doing, Chantel? Sorry, you missed where to place the ribbon. So before I glued on my layers, so let's just kind of get this looking how it will look. All right, so here's the front of my album. I put some seal. I had my ribbon folded in half, and then I just put it on the seal. I flip my book over. I put some more seal on there just to hold it in place for me. If you just want to lay it there, if you're brave and daring, you can just lay it there if you want, and then glue your layers on top of your ribbon. I've always said that sleep is overrated. Sometimes I do really well when I have less sleep. Like sometimes when we've gotten ready to go on some of our trips and we've got like a flight that we have to leave at 2 or 3 in the morning, I don't even go to bed. It's just easier to not sleep. And I am out of focus again. Why is my camera doing that? So right now it's in focus. YouTube is just not being my friend. Little by little it feels like it's blurring. All right, you good, Chantel? All right, so we have our first layers on. Now, if we wanted to do something like this, we could make a little cluster. And put some words on here. And that could just be the front of our little mini album. Understated, not too crazy flashy. So I'm gonna do mine with You Make Me Smile. You do yours with whatever you want. I'm going to emboss in white because I've got this coppery bronze that coordinates. It doesn't exactly match, but it coordinates. All right. So let's go ahead and I'm going to try to find kind of the grain, and I'm going to put my embossing buddy on the grain. Now, if you're just using regular cardstock, you wouldn't have to emboss. You could just use whatever ink looks good, but with this piece, if it doesn't turn out, I'll end up using something else. but I just think the embossed will stand out a little bit better. And today we want white. I had clear yesterday. Thanks for popping in, Rose. I appreciate it. Get some sleep and catch the replay. Let me know what you think. We'll see how this one turns out. Have a good night and have a great Friday. All right, so I'm going to scooch this over just a little bit because this cluster of flowers is going to be kind of big. And I'm trying to be careful not to smear. Hopefully it's all right. So my embossing powder, even though I used my embossing buddy, it's still clinging to my metallic piece here. So I'm just going to brush some of this off. It didn't want to comply with my little huffing and puffing to try to blow the powder off. And this is just a little art knife or a art brush. It's not the one that comes with the embossing toolkit. I always worry about accidentally brushing off some of the letters that I need. That'll be good enough. Now I'm also going to take your pick tool, that little E for the smile. I want it hollowed out a little bit because it filled in all the way. So I must have shifted a little bit. So I want to carefully clear some of that out of there. Just a little bit there. All right, that ought to work. Let's get baby Hank out here. Oh, sorry, Juju. That's how guys are sometimes. Well, thanks for popping in. I hope he feels better soon. And have a good Friday. Now this is where I could hit my mute button. But then I'd be afraid it wouldn't come off of mute and then we'd have no sound. So I don't know if I'm going to be brave enough for that. I think we're good. I think it looks all shiny. So I'm going to let that cool off just a little bit. All right. How you doing, Chantel? Keeping up all right? All right. I'm going to save this to put some, and if we're working on the inside, I don't want to have that up on dimensionals while we're working flat. Okay. So now let's do some other little colors in here. So these I just trimmed 4 to 6. So that's like, I got 6 out of a 12 by 12 piece of designer series paper. And we can just trim these down to fit our page. So I'm gonna clean some of this debris that's in my track here. I'm just gonna take off, I think, 1/8 of an inch on one side and the bottom. So this is 6, so I'm just gonna take 1/8 inch off of the side and the bottom. And I'm just randomly putting things in here because then I'm not going to think about it too much. All right, so we got our front outside covers done. Now I'm going to do the inside covers. So I'll put this inside here as well. So I'm going to cut that down. I like things to be kind of symmetrical. So I'm just going to take 1/8 inch off here. And I think 1/8 inch off of that side. Yeah, the sentiment can always go on last, right? And I'm going to go ahead and glue these in just so I don't change my mind. So tomorrow we will be picking up my granddaughter, our granddaughter, at school. So I'm sure she's going to want a Pizza Ranch dinner because it's a chicken pizza salad buffet place. Ellie! Tequila. And she'll be with us all weekend. So we'll see. Sometimes she wants to make a video. So if she's feeling focused enough, because she's only 8, if she's feeling focused enough and wants to do a video, she'll probably say, Grandma, I'll do the talking. You just, if I need anything, I'll ask you. I'll just be like, okay. Allie. All right, 2 layers. Now, I think what one of these has green. I think that would be a lot of green. We could do, that's kind of a lot also. Let's see, what else do we have? There's another one. Where is that one? Here. Maybe we should just do this, because then we can decorate some things on here too, and we can make that like a journaling page as well. All right, let's keep these things separate for the front. I don't want to lose those. All right, so I'm going to trim this one down. So if it was 4 down an eighth, so I'm going down to 3 7/8, and then 5 7/8. And then I don't want to forget the little thumb hole. So I'm going to mark where the thumb hole is on here, so I can try to get that punched in kind of the same place. Well, that turned out pretty good. Luckily. Thank you, Allie. I hate to cover up some of these floral sides, but that's just an awful lot of floral. So we just need to reel it in a little bit. That worked out quite nicely with that little thumb hole. That worked out pretty good. Got a tag along ribbon there. Ellie! You gonna get tired of hearing that? Juju's not even here, so I could probably stop. What do you think of that? Just a little demarcation line, and then we'll make a tag to go inside. We'll trim this down just a smidge, like a 1/16 of an inch on each end, so that these edges here are kind of centered. I kind of like that because that's going to pull the colors from here. They're going to tone it down, and then we'll meld into just the plain tweed. Oh, it was her idea too. All right, so I'm just going to take off a 1/16 of an inch. And since it's such a small piece, I'm going at the center. I probably could have just used my snips. That might have worked better, but I can straighten it out with my snips a little bit. Just so it's not a ragged edge. I almost took a nap tonight because I sat down on the couch, which is usually a mistake. If I sit down, then I get overwhelmed with fatigue. If I just keep moving, it doesn't matter if I've had no sleep or 8 hours. If I sit down, it doesn't matter how much sleep I've had, more or less, I can still fall asleep. But if I keep moving, then I can stay awake. So then I just got up and I started doing stuff because it's like I want to get stuff prepped. So I did, I did all the die cuts from one of the scraps that I had. And I even did the ones that are at the edges of the page because I figure we can go like this. We can pull in some of this stuff like this. I'll trim some of that out. But some of these edges, there's no reason why you can't use those even though they're at the edge of the paper. Or we could go like this even. you know, we'll figure it out. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. Are we all right zoomed in this far? It seems like it's staying focused this close. If I zoom out a little bit, then I lose focus. Oh, that'll be fun, Allie. Those are cute little critters. Allie! I like it. I don't think I care for that so much, but I do like it coming from here. So let's go ahead and glue that one down. So are you doing cards? Or are you doing a 3D project for your class, Allie? It does take a while, but they're cute. Ellie. I like it. I like it. I think I need to move up on my sheet just a little bit so you can see more. I think I'll put these down here. I kind of like that. One sheet wonders are fun. I need to do more of those. So this is light enough that I don't even think that I want to do a journaling card. But if I change my mind, I will probably use a small crumb cake piece. Oh, slimline cards. Do you make your own envelopes then? All right, so let's get a piece of crumb cake to make our tag. And let's see how much space. I don't remember how much space we had, but because of our tear and tape, we'll do our tag at, we'll do the tag at 4 3/4. That ought to work. Because there's no tape down here, there's only tape up here. Yeah, if you do the larger slimline cards, Stampin' Up! Had some slimline envelopes at one point. So I think we'll go to about here. Let's see. So I'm going to go 3.5 inches. We'll see how that is. So 3.5 by 4 3/4. Oh, I could have made that bigger. And then I'm going to get that quarter rounder again. And I'm just going to put that little hole. Oh, I didn't want it that way. I guess I'll put one on every side so it looks like I wanted it that way. We'll make believe that was part of the design. Who knew? You think anybody will care? And let's get another piece of Secret C. And we'll just copy our ribbon from last night. Now you could put a picture on here. It's going to be kind of long. You could do a picture or a journaling card or whatever you want. This is supposed to be a mini album, so let's see if I can find some white. Oh, well, I've got crumb cake. And then I'm just going to use a binder clip to give me some extra holding power there so that I can use two hands. So Chantel, you will find that I am a putsy stamper, so it's not just because you're following along. When I craft, that is my relaxation time. And I like to just take my time. So if we do the same thing that we did last night, it doesn't work quite the same because I didn't make as big a slot. I think we'll just leave this one flapping in the breeze. So at least this one I don't have to worry about it hugging into the adhesive at all. So we still need to flop that over somehow. We'll try to do it like last night. With a little bow, and we'll just fold it over. I was going to try to make this one a little bit more masculine, but because I thought with the blues it might be, but it's so floral. We're punching each side because I messed up. You could cut a whole new tag, but I accidentally put my ribbon in there and it doesn't go this way, so I just did them on each side. You can disregard. You know what I'll do? If you've got a punch that makes decorative edges, that'll make it look like I meant to make the mistake. Nobody will know it was a mistake except me and us. So the idea, like last night, we only put a punch in one side for that ribbon. All right, so that's going to go in there. And that can fold in out of the way so that when we close it, we can still tie it. And then they can use it to pull it out. So I think what I want to do here is a piece on the back. So So if I'm gonna go 3.5 by 4 3/4. I think I like this side. What do you think? The brighter side? Oh, I think this side. What did I say? 3.5? 3.5 by 4 3/4. There are no mistakes. There's just opportunities for embellishments, enhancements, whatever. 3.5 by 4 3/4. Now, the interesting part for this is going to be rounding the corners. And seeing if I can get this to match up, because ideally I should have done it in layers. You know, I should have had them stacked. And then I'm going to put a little thumb hole in there. That's pretty close. This one's a little off. I'm not sure. I must not have had it lined up quite. I don't think I like that. I'm going to cut this smaller. I'm going to cut enough to cut these edges off. We'll make that a little narrower. That'll work. And now I'm just going to do the round edges here. And we'll just put that here. I think that'll be fine. And that's just so we're not looking at just plain old crumb cake. You know, I used to use crumb cake all the time, and I hardly ever use it anymore. Back when we had the cookie cutter Christmas set, crumb cake was my favorite color. And I just use it less and less. Which is a shame because it's a good neutral color. Ellie! Alright, so there's our little pocket piece. So we'll fold that in when we're not using it. And there's the back. Now you could put a photo or something on here, or you could write with a journaling pen. Whatever you want. That's pretty cool so far. Now we're going to come to this side for our little pocket. And then we've got our trifold. So I'm going to use, just like yesterday, I'm going to use, I think, the same piece on this side, just so it looks balanced. And what did we do size-wise? 3 7/8 by 5 7/8. So I just took off 1/8. And get that ribbon out of the way. right, so I like that. Now let's do our little pocket. So here's the front. Then we went to mild. So I think what I want to do is kind of carry that theme over here. So we're going to do another piece of this. If I can find it. It's not big enough. There we go. All right, so 3 7/8. And then if this was 3, I'm just going to go to 2 7/8. Beautiful. And then I'm going to mark where that thumb hole is. And line it up. Pretty darn good. How you doing decorating your Chantel? I'm trying to call off the measurements. I don't always do that. I usually just go with the flow, and I figure some people like bigger margins. I kind of like narrow ones. Now last night we did more layers, and today I'm not doing as many layers. All right, so this is interesting. What do you think of that? I think that would work. It gives it some interest. Up and down, sideways. And then I just need to trim a little bit more off. So, surprise, surprise, we did not have any angry weather today. I think I'm going to put that in the middle so that that thumb hole looks more balanced. I need to smear this glue a little bit more so it doesn't seep out the sides. And then we're going to get another piece of crumb cake, and we're going to make another crumb cake card tag. right, now we used on the back of here that wheat kind of looking one. So I'm going to trim these so that they are the same size. And I'm going to glue them together, then I'm going to punch the corners so that they're exactly the same. Okay, so let's see. Three inches. I'm going to go 2 7/8 first. And because I didn't have this flush, I'm going to put a little border on there. So I didn't have these lined up right when I had it flipped over. So we're just going to center this onto here and it'll be fine. Again, nobody but us will know that that's not how it was intended. I like that the Tombow multi-purpose liquid glue gives us a little bit of wiggle room if things are not quite straight. And I'm just going to trim a little bit off the bottom here. Because there was still a little bit of score line there. And then I'm going to curl, I'm going to trim rather, the corners. Whoops, that didn't work. There we go. Let's trim that just a little bit. Okay, so that can go right in there. And we can put a picture or journaling lines on there, or whatever it is you want to do with your little mini album. All right. And then we have to decide what to do with these. I think that works. That pulls the greens together. What do you think? So all of these layers I'm doing 3 7/8 by 5 7/8. And I'm going to take my Mossy Meadow and edge those a little bit. This paper is so pretty. I love the blues with the greens and the browns. It's just a really good combination of color. And then you get that bronze put in there. Gorgeous. Ellie! All right, now there should be, was there one more top pocket? I thought, didn't we have, we did. Did I glue something together wrong? So that's got that. Oh, that's right, we added a pocket. Because I'm seeing this, I'm like, is there a pocket that I'm missing? We added a pocket to that one. I think I'm good to put some of this stuff on the front now. I'm gonna do quite a few. I think that's pretty straight. Then let's add this. I'm going to put a little dimensional on the back of this leaf. And on the bottom of this petal. And then I'm going to put some seal on here because that will work better on the foiled paper. Pretty, pretty. And then I'm going to put some glue on the stem edge. And we'll tuck that under here. And then we've got our cluster of flowers. I think we'll do one on the base. And I'm just going to kind of tuck that in so more of that white is covered. And then we're going to put dimensionals on the back of here. I'm going to put 2 dimensionals on this. just because I think it needs to be a little higher than here. And then this one, I'm just going to put a little dimensional. I think I'm going to cut that in half-ish, half-ish. And a little bit of seal. And where it goes over the edges, I'm just going to fold it back on itself. And then here we can have this one. Kind of like so, there. That kind of works. And then I think we're just going to use our matte dots that go with this suite. Now, any of these colors would work, but I think I'm going to use the crumb cake. Hopefully those aren't too dull. The colors are good though. I think it'll work. What do we think? Let's get rid of some of this debris. Haven't heard from Roz in a long time. Roz, are you still here? All right, so there's the front. We'll have this tied. The first inside, we can put a picture here. We can do some journaling here. Picture, journaling, whatever you want. And then this design carries over here. And we've got another little card to either put picture or journaling or both, whatever you want to do. This comes out. Now, I think we need to break this up with maybe, well, of course, a picture. If you filled a picture in there, that would probably be enough. A couple of pictures in here. That would tone down some of that. Do we need a pocket at all in here? We think we're good. And then there's the back. Didn't take us as long as last night. How far did you get on yours, Chantel? Pretty much done? Just decorating? So, oh, there. So here's last night's. With the Fern Flora. Yeah, Fern Flora. That's not a very pretty bow, but you get the idea. Oh, we can use some of these on that green page. All right, so if we untie these, Let me open them up. Last night's. Today's. Okay. Flip our page. Pockets, pockets. How very different these look just by doing the different paper. And then we added a pocket on this one. We didn't on this one, but we can add some flowers. That print is too small. Oh, I'm going to put this down at the bottom. Top and the bottom, or just the bottom, do you think? So I'm going to close this one up. So if you're here tonight and you weren't here last night and you like this one, go check out last night's video. You can see how that one came together. It's a long video, so you can always, you know, do your playback speed faster. All right, so that's last night's. And this, because of that embossing folder and the paper, it feels leather-ish. All right, so I think I just want to have it, on the bottom. Just to carry those colors and let your eye flow. Allie, you've been doing your cleaning up your messy she shed. I think which one I like better will depend on who it's given to or what it's used for. I really like these, but I really love the Fern Flora. And then that little pop of color. They're both pretty in their own way. So let's go ahead and glue this first. You must have a pretty nice sized she shed to have it set up for crafting. My she shed is big enough for gardening stuff and our granddaughter's outside toys, and we store some chairs and then my chicken supplies in it. Not enough space to do any crafting. And in the summer it gets really humid, so I wouldn't want all my papers out there. I wish these dots were a little bit smaller because a little white dot in there would look cute. But that's not going to happen. Yeah, I really like the blues and the greens. And I mean, this is just a really pretty color combination. Very earthy, but yeah, earthy because that's like the water, and it's quite pretty. Now, the edge of this leaf is at the edge of my strip, and these petals come in the middle just because I'm a little crazy that way. And then let's see about, oh, I forgot I had some more foliage pieces. That's too big there. I think I'm going to put that on there. Oh, 30 by 12. Nice. I'm trying to get some glue on this. This is a new glue bottle. And then I need part of a dimensional again. Too bad I had not anticipated. I could have saved that other half. Well, when you've got that much space, Allie, it deserves to be packed with all of the things that make you happy. I think that added color does it for me. I like it. Okay. Now let's take a look. So there's the front and the back. I like it. Inside, journaling card. Flip that over. Tag. Fold out. Space. Got one more little orphan flower here. Can't have a little orphan flower. I love all these elements. They're just so pretty. But at some point you have to say that's just enough. I'll save those. All right, so I think I'm happy with that. Chantel, you happy with yours? You still here? Those in there. Unruly little ends. I could probably trim those to be a lot shorter, but it makes it easier to tie the bow. Chantel, I'm glad you like yours. Awesome. You're welcome, Nicole. I'm glad you popped in. Glad you like these. Super easy, and they're fun. Hopefully you had fun watching. I had fun creating. Thank you all for joining me. I appreciate it. I'm going to call it a night, clean up my stuff, get a little bit of sleep, and get ready for my granddaughter. So I didn't realize it was kind of crooked all night this way. A little crooked. There we go. Oh, we'll straighten out a little bit for the end. Awesome. I will get these posted to my Facebook page. Yeah, choosing photos, right? I will get these posted to my Facebook page. If you create something like this, go to my Facebook page it's the same name, Lori's Little Bit of Crafting. In the comments, add a picture of your little portfolio. Thank you, Allie. I appreciate it. Oh, Chantel, I'm glad. Thank you so much. And I'm just reading some of these comments. So, Allie, you've been accumulating your stuff for 40 years. That's a long time. I've been getting better at acquiring, and then when things are out of commission, then I'm clearing them out of my studio now, and I'm passing them along to other people so that other people can enjoy them as well. So, thank you all for joining me tonight. I am going to say goodnight now. I'm going to clean up my stuff. I'm going to get a little bit of sleep, and then I'm going to have a weekend with the granddaughter, and we'll see if we do some crafting during the day with her. Everybody enjoy your Friday, enjoy your weekend, and until next time, happy crafting. Good night, everybody.